Tales from my D&D campaign.
Previously,
with Liz the Orc now in tow, the party heads back to properly explore the terminus.
They call this the Northern Terminus, but it's not the Northern Terminus.
All the heroes plus Liz pile into the tram, and they set out northward.
A huge military facility with the largest geovolcanic power source we could find.
All the lights and panels and everything go dark. Due to failure to comply with controller directives, the unauthorized tram has been shut down and will be detained. Draven dimension doors them up. Gamma here is a little different than the rest of us. Gamma, smash.
Now that's a monster.
Divine Transformation. Don't attack Draven.
I'd say we made an entrance. As Gamma died, never having learned to transfer his consciousness as the other Dark Ancients do, the heap of ancient warforged that made up his body fell over and collapsed. Even though he was more than 30 feet from the original broken spot Mora had found in the ice, as much as 30% of his mass spilled over into the hole. As they gathered around the opening, they could see the warforged husks scattered over a large symbol of Ytarran, the god of creation worshipped by the ancient builders. The icon appeared to mark a great door in segments which could iris open. Did Gamma falling break it open? No, not enough of him fell down. He more trickled down than making a solid impact. There's not much in the temple. Perhaps it was cleaned out, though it looks like it may have been pretty Spartan in the first place. It is a little banged up in places, indicating there may have been fighting. Angel's already down there, but having a hard time finding the mechanism because the door's covered in broken warforged. I think the button should be right around... I jumped down 40 feet into Elder Mountain Hammer. Here we go. Little One has Rainbow Dash wait up at the surface as they follow a 20-foot wide ramp down with light bars in the corners, and the joints of Black's armor begin to glow in the presence of a proper Ytarran power source. You're bringing Liz? Liz can be right up front with me. Okay, because she's going to complain if you try to leave her up at the entrance in the shitty North Pole. The tunnel comes out into a boring, empty room with one opening leading forward. You know what I'm thankful of? The fact that the Ytarrans do not seem to be paranoid whatsoever. They put no value in traps. They don't trap every 10 feet of this place. Well, if you want to use a place, a trap every 10 feet is really inconvenient. Exactly. Like, I don't put a bear trap in my couch.
We should all get spider climb all the time, because who puts traps on the ceiling?
Probably the Ytarrans. That's actually how you missed all the traps in Ginneron. They were all on the ceiling. Only suckers walk on the floor. That would be a decent strategy, though. Who traps, like, the walls? We're gonna have to trap the walls when we build a keep.
Whatever a trap does to me, I can totally hurt that trap.
So nobody's been around here? You're not sure. You notice a number of places where the quality is slightly inconsistent, where you think the metal walls may have been recently repaired, though if so, it takes a very keen eye to tell. The 10-foot room narrows into a short hallway, then widens back into a room with 4 pillars in the far half, and a ramp descending east in the far corner. Some lights come on as they approach. Angel checks the entrance of the room carefully, finding no sign of pressure plates or other triggers. But something about this room, this configuration, does not sit right with you.
I could blistering radiance and clear everything out. I figure anything of value will be immune to 2d6 fire damage.
I'm sure it will be good for all the books. Scroll cases are not immune. Wheeler, whoa? If it says whoa, we're still going in. Screw it, I walk in. 4 figures step out from alcoves on the far side of the pillars. These golems look like knights in futuristic full plate, with large tower shields polished to a mirror sheen. Glowing eyes? They all have glowing white eye plates. Looks pretty standard to you. Historically, the Dark Ancients you've met have each had a different colored glow, not white. Angel sidesteps and fires her crossbow, but finds there's a lot more shield than target. Little One moves up and ballista throws one of the golems down the ramp, hitting it and another one in the path for 21 damage, though they resist some of that. I'm confuzzled. They're big golems. I feel their touch AC is probably bad, but those shields have me worried about reflection. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use my Eternal Wand of Heroism on Black.
What do I get?
You get +2 on every d20 roll.
Yes.
Black, who still has 2 rounds left on his Lesser Holy Transformation, charges a golem, hitting for 22, though its damage reduction stops a little less than half. Elder Mountain Hammer it is.
Well, if he hits me, I do damage to him. And if he misses me, I get a free attack from my counter-strike bracers.
There's a good chance he'll do one of the two. Maybe both. Mora misses her shots, then Liz moves up beside Black, but misses her battle leader's charge. It's hard when you roll a 5. That's when the golems pause for a moment. The wall over here opens up and you see this bright light. Projects a huge beam of energy 10 feet in diameter. It's electrical damage, but it has some properties of a laser. Woo, I have 5 electrical resistance. I think it's the first time I get to use it. Those of you in the beam take 59 damage, reflex for half. 59? Yeah. You don't build a trap every 10 feet. You build one serious trap. Liz saved. She's very happy she passed her save. Wait, the beam's still there? It's continuous. That's why it does so much damage. Also, do not end your turn in the beam. You take full damage with no save. Fortunately, Angel can practically dance through the difficulty 20 reflex save if she needs to, and her evasion rogue ability means she takes no damage when she succeeds against a reflex for half effect. But if she did roll terribly or ended her turn in the beam, she'd be in a bad place. A couple of the war machines, especially the one Little One threw, can only reposition this round. At least they aren't very fast. Why are the golems immune to it? Because they're designed to be immune to it. They aren't actually blocking it with their shields. But while one misses Black, allowing him to counterstrike for 23, another hits Liz for 14 damage and knocks her back 10 feet with a free bull rush it gets when it hits. Mora, trapped on the other side of the beam, can see through enough to help, though targets on the other side would have concealment from her. Shit just got real, people. What's up? I'll take care of the lightning. Angel misses a shot, showing the golems have an armor class higher than 30, so Draven fires an orb of force from his wand. Orb spells ignore the golem's magic resistance, and it is not reflected by the shield, as he had feared it might be, so he deals 26 force damage. Turns out there's a reason I spent a ridiculous amount of money on the wand. It's a good thing, because if Draven can't finish things, nothing would ever die. Turns out they actually wanted to stop people from coming in. What? Don't understand. Alright, I use my Ring of Force to drop a 10-foot square wall for 2 rounds. Perfect size for blocking this beam. With the beam cut off, Black no longer has to move out of it on his turn, so he's free to full attack. With all the buffs on him, he does decent damage, but their 10-point damage reduction is definitely hampering him. And then his Holy Transformation spell wears off. Aw. Haste. Well, that's good for Liz, who has already been beat to crap. Don't chicken out.
I ain't running.
She isn't about to flee while all of you are standing firm. You should trip it. She looks up at this thing, twice her height and outmassing her by a factor of 10, and tries to smash its leg instead. She touch attack mountain hammers for 26 true damage, bypassing the DR. At the bottom of the round, the wall in front of the beam closes, and an adjacent section opens as it moves west 10 feet, currently beaming harmlessly into one of the pillars, but proving that it can move enough to blast either that side of the room or back down the middle in the next round. As the golems act, Angel, Black, Little One, and Liz each take 1 hit, though somehow only Liz gets knocked back. In her case, it's probably a good thing, because it makes it easier for her to get out of combat. She's taking like 80 damage. Hasted now, Angel full attacks, hitting 3 times. The construct's damage reduction stops all of her physical damage, but her chain still inflicts ice and fire damage, which adds up. She deals 20 this round. I don't know what to do. I can attack, or I can wait and block the beam again. I can probably make the reflex save. DC 20 is pretty easy for Angel, though it would be bad if she failed. Especially since I'm already hurt. Okay, I'm trusting your reflexes. If I hit 3 times, I bet I can kill this guy with Searing Blade. Those were 2 pretty good hits. A 3rd hit, you would have had a chance. Between their reach, attacks of opportunity, and the laser, I feel like I'm going to be checkmated in 3 moves. Raven spends another orb on the wounded golem to make sure to reduce the number of enemies dealing damage.
We got 1 down. That's good.
Alright, Liz needs to GTFO. Don't run away, drop this guy. She's already done okay damage, but she has less than 20 HP left. I'm not liking Liz. She's f***ing chicken. No, she's capable of evaluating the circumstances. She's out of her league. You guys are out of her league. She gets hit by 150 damage lightning bolt and falls apart. She's more powerful than Marp. Really? What level were we? You were level 6, Marp was level 8. Liz has a bunch of extra monstrous hit dice, and her build is at least as optimized. He'd likely hurt her a bunch, but she'd beat him in a fight every time.
I stand in front of Raven.
gets hit by an attack of opportunity for 19, max damage, though his armor crystal stops 7 and the attacker takes 6 back. The cleric tries to sound lance, but the golem's spell resistance stops him. The beam shifts to the west again, beaming into the angled wall sections, which reflected around the entire outside of the room. But though that was unexpected, they largely positioned themselves safely, while Angel easily evasions the massive laser. Then a golem takes a short step, and instead of attacking, it angles its shield. That one...
So it doesn't matter that I moved up.
Do I get a bonus from hiding behind black? Sure, you can have +1 to your save. I'll take it.
I save. And my armor has 5 electrical resist.
Take half of 74. Holy crap! I rolled near max on 15d6. Mora needs to save to survive. Yes! A golem moves up and knocks the bar to 0. But Black hits her with a tiny immediate action heal, allowing her to stay on her feet. Retreat to safety, Mora. That's an order. As Mora slipped back into the antechamber, Angel attacked, dealing 8 elemental and 11 physical damage. Hey, 1 point of physical actually gets through. You'd be very proud of that, Nick. An army of level 1 soldiers with longswords could not accomplish that. Little One uses the second of 3 daily charges on his ring to drop another wall, cutting off the beam and blocking one of the golems. I'm also dropping my shield to two-hand my weapon so I can expand the spear up the large. Graven drops another Force Orb for 30, leaving a golem badly hurt, but still moving. Black hits a different one twice, triggering his Rend attack. I'm gonna let your Rend ignore DR, in this case. You've effectively broken your way through already. Liz is just trying to stay alive at this point, but she sees an opening, and she goes for it. She hits the most damaged golem with a Bone Crusher, but the 12 damage that penetrates the DR leaves it just barely still functional. Now, she isn't quite important enough for the player character minus 25% death threshold, but she still won't die till she hits -10, so it's statistically unlikely to kill her. Yeah, she survives. I mean, she's severely unconscious. She requires aid, but she'll live. The beam moves back east again, preparing to get back into action at the end of the next round.
They don't reflect the beam diagonally, right?
Right, though they can just move. Yeah. When someone's got 2 rooks on you, you're in a bad place. I'm gonna resolve that by wanding him. That better kill him. Yeah, it does. Liz virtually had him. I want to walk over and hack the shield off this thing, because then I could redirect the beam. Could that work? I'd say yes, but in the process, you would take the damage. Really? Yeah, the beam would be in your square. Like, I'd give you the save, because you could maybe reduce the damage by angling the shield well, but these golems are actually immune to it in order to do their job. Little One uses Burning Blade and goes all out. They all do, and together they manage to overwhelm the remaining defenders. But even before the last golem fails, the beam shuts down and the wall closes up, leaving the heroes to grab Liz and retreat to a safer room to heal up. We should head back to the surface, get some distance, then heal up and rest. Rope trick? Exactly. What if there are reinforcements, though?
We don't want to have to fight all that again.
We can leave Angel behind to watch. If anything shows up, you can let us know or run the hell away if spotted. No problem. Heal me up first, then I'll stay with her.
That sounds dangerous.
If I store my armor in my ring of arming, I have pretty good stealth too. You're not invisible or anything. I can cast it on him. Well, if it gets serious, send us a message and we can dimension door back in.
But you realize it takes 3 rounds and they'll know exactly where we'll be.
Oh, right. They've got the slow port. Rather than retreating very far then, the rest of them just retreat up the ramp to the temple, close enough to respawn quickly, while Angel casts invisibility on Little One herself, giving them the better part of 10 minutes to see if there was any response to their attack. And sure enough, after only a few minutes, a mixed group of constructs arrive. Led by 2 golems, just slightly smaller than the conducting golems they just fought, there were also a number of construct workers, similar to the ones they saw in Ytarran, but instead of dog size, these ones were the size of, well, really big dogs. In addition to the pairs of spiky and shooty models were 2 new kinds. One, a 4-foot diameter semi-sphere, and the other a long flatbed. The whole group shimmered with some kind of energy.
Do we have to fight all this again?
We can if we really have to. You're fully healed, I stay the hell back. We can't let them repair all this. Are we attacking or retreating? Hang back and watch for now. The workers load one of the shield golems on the flatbed, and they watch the 2 blue golems leave with it down the ramp, while the others stay, poking and prodding any fallen defenders. If they're just clearing them out, that's fine.
What if they're being repaired off-site?
Then kill all the workers. We can't take the chance. You think the cannon has to recharge? Assume the worst. I mean, we can probably take these 2, just Angel and I, but if Alpha shows up, we're jumping from body to body in the laser death room. Draven buffs Black's weapon with Construct Bane, and uses another buff to temporarily change the mace from mithril to adamantite, a metal which penetrates the damage reduction of most constructs. When the 2 golems in the flatbed return, about 5 minutes later, Little One and Angel were still lurking, invisible, and the others rushed in to destroy the repair team. You should have Rainbow Dash run over all the workers. We didn't actually bring her down, remember? What about Liz? I don't think you guys spent the time or resources to heal her up yet. Tell her to watch the rear. Alright, she takes it very seriously even though you think she knows you're humoring her. So the rest of them engage. Mora shoots and Black charges the nearest worker, and Little One searing charges one of the golems. They discover that the shimmering is some kind of energy shield, granting a massive 30 temporary hit points to all the enemies. When Black hit the one Mora had softened up, he barely broke through the field, but as soon as he broke through the shield's resistance, the worker was crushed by his attack.
So these are like minions, except for the shield.
Like 31 hit point minions. The shield is very beneficial to them. One of the minions with the tubes shoots you twice. It hits with 1 bolt, like for bolting wall sections. A rivet.
It's riveting me?
Yes, take 6 damage.
I have like DR7, so I take nothing.
The golems beat on Little One, hitting multiple times with pretty good die rolls, but their damage per attack seems to average in the low teens, much like the conductive golems. Each time you're hit, it applies 1 charge. You can feel some magical effect building up.
Buff or debuff?
You don't know. It doesn't do anything obvious. Then the hemisphere, the round minion, shimmers.
That's the shield giver?
Oh, a shield generator? That is cool! Try not to destroy it. Oh, you want me to stop it without mass destruction? Well, it's not doing much. Except protecting everything with a shield where I'd have to do 500 damage to kill this golem? I want to study that. You do realize I'm going to rip its head off. It doesn't have a head. I'm going to rip something off! At the end of the round... Damn it.
Round 2. Fight!
I thought it stopped over there.
You don't think it can move behind the wall? 45 damage, save for half. Black saves, as does Little One, while one worker minion caught in the path has its energy field worn away and is vaporized the instant the shield fails. Meanwhile, Angel evades damage completely, ducking into a corner of the round beam. You're actually trying to dodge the arcs of electricity. I could try to pick up the shield generator and run out of range. No, you can just attack it, it's fine. Even if you cut it in half, there should be plenty left to analyze. So I'm okay to kill this thing. He runs over and grabs the 4-foot dome, and Ballista throws it into the beam. Hey, wait! I really thought it would just get electrocuted. Do the shields disappear? Not immediately. As soon as the shield generator's initiative came around, though, all remaining shields disappeared, showing that it just generated a mass shield each round with a 1-round duration. With that powerful defense removed, this group of enemies was suddenly quite manageable. These basic Ytronium golems had similar stats to the conducting golems that had guarded the laser room, just slightly weaker, and judging by the beam's reluctance to target them, they probably weren't immune to electricity. However, instead of a free bull rush on every successful attack, these ones applied one of the mysterious magical charges with every hit, and the shooty workers had an alternate fire which also applied a charge, as a ranged touch attack instead of dealing damage. What are these charges? 31 is a very good check, but it's simply going to take more time, more evidence to figure that out. It's clearly a stacking effect designed to interact with something, but you haven't seen what yet. So they mop up the repair crew, and once again, the beam shuts down preemptively, shutting itself behind its protective wall, leaving the party to reevaluate their next moves. I check out the wall. To your expert eye, the wall appears capable of opening. Elder Mountain Hammer with my bare hand. That dents the wall, causing significant damage, but it'll take more than that to break through. You find out it's on the other side. Wah! Yeah, why am I punching the wall anyway? If you start to break through, it may respawn in some fashion. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to wall of stone the whole laser wall and the ramp. We're going to rest and then come back and adamantine our way through it. So they back off, bring Rainbow Dash down, and rest in the invisible space created by a rope trick to regain spells. The Polaron charges dissipate after a few rounds in which no new stacks were added.
But what do they do?
The characters also level up to 13, all except Little One, who is a little short due to the XP he spent to buy off his partial half-dragon template, combined with the chunk he spent on item crafting. But with all their health and spells back, they popped back into existence and found the Wall of Stone appeared to have done its job. Other than the first one hauled away, all the destroyed worker and golem bodies were still there, and the wall was fully intact. They smashed the part blocking the ramp, leaving the rest of the wall to continue blocking the brutal super laser, and headed deeper into Polaron. The hall sloped gently down over a 40-foot length, then leveled out for a 30-foot stretch lined with row upon row of arrow slits at 2.5, 5, and 7.5 foot heights. Beyond this stretch, the ceiling rose from 10 feet to 15-foot height, which appeared to be the standard for the facility. So the golems are probably bigger out there. The fact they're so obvious makes me think these are not arrow slits. I'm thinking this is going to be Indiana Jones. Shing! Somethings.
We need like a decoy.
Go ahead, Liz. She's not a moron.
Do you have any summons?
Summon a cute little bunny. Angel sneaks up and checks out one of the lower slits, finding no mechanism within. She could see up to the ceiling behind it. There didn't appear to be anything there. Looking around with a little more confidence, she spots some Warforged bodies. No one appears to be standing ready. I cast Mage Hand and use it to prod one of them with a dagger. When there's no reaction, Little One hacks through the wall. 2 Elder Mountain Hammers and a Bone Crusher make a hole big enough for Angel to slip through, turning invisible, of course. God, she's got to be the creepiest character ever. On closer inspection, the Warforged, armed with masterwork crossbows, have little left but their metal parts, their organics having long since decayed. Some actually look to have huddled together. We should give Liz a crossbow. She prefers melee, and she has throwing hammers if she needs range. She hasn't read the PHB, so she doesn't know throwing hammers suck. Badges? They do all have some kind of star-shaped emblem. Now equipped with what they assume to be the badges TR4's head had described, they widen the hole enough to get everyone but Rainbow Dash through and explore. The long narrow guard room's arrow slits are angled in such a way that with a 6-foot crossbowman on each side of the hall, they'd have excellent overlapping fields of fire. There's a stairway that appears to lead under the main passage to the other side, but they first check stairs heading back up parallel to the direction the heroes had come from. There, they find what they recognize as a geovolcanic power source, similar to the one from the northern terminus. So there must be a volcanic ley line here. Despite Little One's offer to smash it, hoping to cripple Polaron's defenses, Draven uses his incredible use magic device skills to shut it down in a less permanent fashion. You Walter Peck this thing. Shut it down. There's no effect on the lighting, but judging by some metal tracery on the ground, they put together that this may have been a dedicated power supply just for that beam weapon. Backtracking a little, they take the stairs down, passing under the main tunnel to find a mirror of the narrow guard room, and more long-dead Warforged. But instead of stairs west, this side had a passage heading east, parallel to the main hallway. So, equipped with Polaron badges, working their way down the staff area, leaving Rainbow Dash behind for now, they find a door. It looks like a blue metal dead end, with no obvious means of opening, but Angel's seen enough Ytarran construction by now to easily find the hand panel. And when it does not open, she picks or fools the mechanical lock, however the hell that works. Behind it is a 60 by 60 foot room filled with golems and workers, fully 4 times the repair crew they just took down, except they see only a single shield generator. However, there are also 2 8-foot metal spheres they haven't seen before, covered in lines as though the ball has been diced, turned 90 degrees, then diced again, sliced and diced. I'm walking right into the room. Why? I'm putting all my faith in the badge. You said 1 shield generator?
Oh, now we have to go in.
Frankly, that's not encouraging.
I want to know what that buff does. They're driving me crazy.
Maybe that's what it does. As Little One walks in, as carefully as one can, despite his bluster, they see a transport and a few other workers head out the door into the main corridor, which closes behind them. Where's the body of the conductive golem from the laser room? You don't see any sign of it in here.
I poke a golem.
You get a buff. Oh man, I totally should have done that. Too late now. But if I'd said that, it would have been awesome. No, nothing happens. Alright, I'll walk over and try to pick up the 4-foot shield generator one. Is it heavy? Well, when you start to pull up on it, lifting it a bit off the ground, it activates the energy shields and starts trying to roll away. And the golems, which are all the around you, start activating. They're all activating?
You just kept poking and poking until something happened.
He activated the tilt sensor.
I can blistering radius the place.
Go right ahead. They won't do anything while they have shields. I know what I would do.
Is there any way to turn these things off?
Not turning them on would have been a good start.
Curiosity, man. Curiosity kills the things. We should just shut the door. Come back later.
Come back with a gem and raise him. Maybe you guys should wait. If they only attack me, maybe I can draw them off. Right now, I just want to get the initiative so we can nuke the room. There's no laser beam, right? There's probably no laser. But you may have activated the strategic reserve. Have to take this guy out first. Little one hits the shield generator for 38 damage, though only 8 gets past the shield. It came up pretty high in the initiative order, though, along with all the regular golems and stabby workers, so that would refresh soon enough.
What would have happened if, instead of hitting it, you petted it?
Sing to it. Be nice to it. Apparently touchy-touchy is okay. Grabby-grabby's not good.
Are there any red eyes?
Nope. Anything that has eyes has them glowing white. You know what, guys? Running might be an option. You think? Oh, I know what to do. Grab our tails between our legs and run? Have Mora haste us and GTFO? Yes, but next round, we'll get Mora to shoot me, then close the door. And you drop another wall if you can.
Shoot you?
I'll leaping flame counter over to her. Right, it just teleports you to the attacker. It won't hurt her or anything. I'll get caught in the teleport dampener thing, but I'll be back in 3 rounds.
You'll be dead in 3 rounds.
No, I disappear right away. I just wouldn't reappear for 3 rounds. Shouldn't Mora shoot you first, then? No, they have to attack me first, otherwise they'll come straight for the party.
And a lot of them act before Draven.
You guys have to get out of the room, then shoot me. I'm gonna take some licks. It actually doesn't matter who shoots me as long as somebody does. Honestly, if we can take out the shield generator quickly, the whole situation changes. Unfortunately, based on the initiative rolls, only Mora would act before it refreshed its 30 hit point shield. She focused her magic on utility and buffs, so she didn't have any big nuke to try and take down the generator. Shooting it, she found it has a huge deflection bonus specifically against ranged attacks, but she hit it anyway, dealing max damage, and it's not bloody yet. No DR, it's just tougher than you thought. I may get stomped into paste here, but I am the one who poked it. Gonna be a bloodbath.
And you know whose blood is in this bath.
Yep, mine. At least I'm unflankable. 8 large golems pile on Little One with their 10-foot reach. His medium-grade Iron Ward crystal stopped 3 damage per hit, though it can only stop 30 damage per day, a number which was going to come up very quickly as they wailed on him with fists and blades for about 10 to 15 damage per hit, and each hit gave him another Polaron charge.
What do they do?
Miss, hit, miss, crit, miss. It's a good thing they're missing so much. Considering they need like a 7 to hit, we really should have buffed before coming in here. They missed all those times. I still took 92 damage. I think I can taste my own spleen. You can taste a lot of iron anyway. The party members who had moved into the room were falling back to the tunnel where they had a bit of a choke point, making it difficult for even 4 of the golems to get at them, once they finished with Little One. Black tries to take out the shield generator with a sound lance, but its energy field had refreshed on its turn, and when it made it safe for half, the remaining damage just takes out most of the temporary hit points. Alright, I'll shoot Little One.
You're gonna enjoy that just a little too much.
As Angel backs down the passage and fires at him, the Half-Dragon Warblade disappears in a gout of flame. Normally, he would simultaneously reappear next to his attacker, but as they expected, he was suspended in limbo by Polaron's teleport dampening abjuration. In any case, he was out of danger as long as they could hold the entrance for 3 rounds until he reappears.
Wait, you did a counter move on her. Is she dead now?
Now, it's just a movement thing. If somebody shoots at me from a rooftop 100 feet away, I can teleport next to them. There's no range limit? 100 feet.
That's ridiculous. That's scary as shit.
If only 4 golems can fit in around the tunnel mouth, maybe we can do more. Maybe we can actually succeed here, if we can just get rid of the shield. I can maximize a wand attack. If I force orb, I should be able to guaranteed kill the dome. Though you have seen from Mora's attack that it has a significant deflection bonus against ranged attack. You know this thing won't have a touch AC of like 10 or 12. Still, I'll do it. AC 25? That hits its touch AC, but not by as big a margin as you'd like. And the 60 damage kills it, but doesn't overkill it as much as you would have thought. So expensive, but it had to go. So the existing shields would wear off next round, at the same time the golems and spiky workers had. And Draven can't cast a wall spell this round, having blasted the shield generator instead.
I just look at Liz. You ready to hold this off?
To say so.
One sphere repositions a little, while the other delays its initiative. Then the shooty workers go, each taking 2 shots, though they're dividing their efforts between shooting for physical damage and zapping their targets with Polaron charges. Black gets 2 charges.
You know what? I don't even care.
Another shoots him for 6 damage, which again doesn't get through his damage reduction of 7, though it has to be counted because similar to little ones, his crystal can only absorb 50 damage per day. They hit Liz for 12 damage, then for 2 charges, Draven gets 2 charges, and Angel gets 1 as well. Then the second sphere rolls up next to them. Liz and Black each get an attack for opportunity, but they bounce off because it has plus 8 AC against attacks provoked by its movement. Why? It's not dodging or anything. No, but it has absolutely nothing exposed. Then it unfolds into a giant mass of counter-rotating blades, and whirlwind attacks as a standard action, with 10-foot reach. Hits AC 29.
Shit, I'm at 30, so it just missed.
So it hits everyone except Black. It slices, it dices, it consumes. Do not want. Your original plan with the wall would have been fine. You all take 31 physical damage, and every charge on you is expended, dealing 5 electrical damage per charge.
Well, now I know what the damn buff is.
I would have taken an extra 45, minus 5 for resistance. Hey, do these charges count as a hostile spell for my ring? For each charge? No, I don't think so. What about the discharge then? Sure, that can count as a hostile spell. Mora hastes them all because whether they fight or run, it's a huge help either way. Then the majority of the enemies act, but most of them can't get into reach, so they just kind of crowd around, forming an imposing looking carpet of blades. Liz hits the slicing golem for 22, half of which gets through the DR, then attempts to tumble away. She has a hard time tumbling with all her armor, but she tries. It worked this time. Yay! Angel scores a couple hits, while Draven readies his action. Then, on Black's turn,
Blistering Radiance.
In response to the spell, Draven drops a wall of force just in front of them, protecting them from the furnace-like glow. Black rolls 9 damage for the first round. There's a fortitude save for half, and minions never take damage on a successful save, but nevertheless, half of them die in the first round, while it begins to damage the larger constructs, most of which made their saving throws. And the spell lasts, like, a minute.
Now we just buff up.
And get ready to mop up. Making Black's mace adamantine and Bane should be strong, since she should be up front, and they'll come to him so he can full attack. Mora and I can just force crossbow from the back to beat the DR. At the end of the round, though, a blue glow fills the room, fighting against the radiance. A fire suppression system. That would be convenient, but actually no. They all start making their saves. All the saves. What the hell? The big ones are still taking half damage, but with perfect saves, the minions are evading the damage with metal. Override. Intruders detected. They all start moving out of the room. I pop back in and see them leaving, and I'm like, hey, you won! Good job!
But have they? Next time on Tales from My D&D Campaign.
Raven, we need one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, for our flying fortress.
Mounted on Rainbow Dash. Make your own Rainbow Death Star. Get a prism for it, be a Rainbow Death Star in multiple senses. Actually, Rainbow Dash is not that brilliant. We may not want a death laser shooting wherever she looks.
What do they do?